Hello everyone, and welcome to another fiction reading. Today we are reading Princess Celestia Hates Tea. It is a comedy for everyone involving Twilight and Celestia. Uh, 2 chapters, 8,536 words total. I have not read any way into this yet, so let's get started. Chapter 1. Tea, Highness? Said the tawdry dun-colored unicorn mare, offering up one of the innumerable royal kettles for my approval. Yes, of course, Miss Cozy, I said, plucking up my beautiful antique china cup from my beautiful antique mahogany tea table in a swirl of beautiful antique unicorn magic. Wow. Unless my beautiful antique nostrils Okay, no, it's just a joke. Unless my beautiful antique nostrils deceive me, this morning's selection would be a solid domestic orange pic picot. Not sure I pronounced that. Yes? But of course, Highness, said Miss Cozy. I know how you favor it, and just so your Highness knows, we're going to have a wonderful jasmine ready for your meeting with the young Miss Sparkle. Newly back, from the young Miss Sparkle, newly back from Hind. The little filly does love her flowers, doesn't she? Yes, she does, I agreed, smiling pleasantly at the royal tea stewardess. She and I and Jasmine Tea go back many years. Always nice to have little rituals and traditions between friends, said Miss Cozy, whimsically laying a hoof alongside her snout for a moment. At any rate, after that I expect you'll be wanting tea with tea, so we'll have a nice simple oolong to go with the traditional watercress sandwiches. Then there'll be Earl Grey for your tate. I don't know how to say that. I'm just gonna put that up as an image in the video. With Princess Luna. And if you'll forgive an old mare her editorializing, her bergamot. I don't know. I don't know shit about tea, so I might have to take a second to pronounce a lot of this. The bergamot essence in the current tin is particularly fragrant. This person is way above my level. Glad to hear it, I said. You do such an excellent job with Earl Grey. Earl Grey, Miss Cozy. She beamed at me, blushing a little. Your Highness flatters. Nothing so base, I said. Merely an accurate assessment of your prodigious skill. Thankee kindly, Highness, said Miss Cozy, with a little curtsy. Oh, and we've got something a little special cooked up for bedtime. Sorry. Oh, I said. Miss Cozy nodded. Peppermint, she exclaimed. I perked. Peppermint what? Peppermint tea, of course, said Miss Cozy. Oh, I said, settling back into my cushion. Well, that sounds positively delightful. I know, doesn't it? And then... Ha! Listen to me jabber. I think that was supposed to be inside the thing. And then, ha! Listen to me jabber on while there's tea needs pouring. Uh, scoot your cup over here, Highness. I did so, and with a gount of fragrant white steam she filled my cup to the brim. I levitated it back over to my sitting cushion, inclined my head downward at a delicate angle, and took a deep sighing breath of the aroma. Ah, as I said, heavenly, Miss Cozy. Again with the flattery, Highness, said Miss Cozy, backing respectfully away from me whilst taking hold of the tea trolley's handle in a flicker of deep brown magic. Now you just ring for me if you're ever in need of another cup. You hear me, Highness? I might just take you up on that, I called, laughing musically. They're, they're, how do you laugh musically? Ha 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 ha. Uh, there are just some times when I can't stop at one. At your honored disposal as ever, Highness, said Miss Cozy, easing the tea trolley out of the saloon doors. Saloon? Salon? Okay, don't know that word either. Salon doors, I'm guessing. I nodded and smiled to her, my expression held aloft in a mask of beautiful poise until I could hear the latch click in the door and Miss Cozy's receding footsteps down the length of the hall. My face fell. I magicked my beautiful antique china cup over to the beautiful antique fern especially selected for this purpose, and dumped the horrid ichor into the patient and forgiving soil beneath it, watching it glisten for a moment and then vanish into the earth. I so barking hate tea, I said, staring down at the dirt. And that's the story of how my friend that's the story of how my friends and I diffused. Okay, this is Twilight. Oh. And that's the story of how my friends and I diffused an incipient international crisis and I'm gonna stop you guys right here. I'm a little bit dumb. I don't know big complicated words, especially words like important, as in it's important to be able to read when you're doing fan fiction readings, or any fan fiction readings, really. Um, let's continue and see how much I can mess up in the future. And that's the story of how my friends and I diffused an incipient international crisis and brokered a solid peace between the dear folk of the Hind and the Sky Kingdom Griffins, said my faithful student, taking a contented sip of her jasmine tea. She said, closing her eyes in bliss and letting the steam wash over her. Excellent as always, Princess Celestia. British there for a second. I employ the best, I said, smiling, including, it seems, in the field of negotiation. I'm most pleased with the wonderful news from abroad, Twilight. I would like similar reports from each of the members of your diplomatic mission, if that's not too much trouble. My friends are right downstairs, Princess. Field reports in hooves. We learned so much about both friendship and complex multi multinational treaty negotiation, and we're dying to share it all with you. She grinned. She grinned at me, wide and white, and then took another sip of jasmine tea. I responded in kind, sipping my own cup, as always, commanding myself in sternest possible terms not to retch at the taste of the stuff. Some days it was all I could do to resist the temptation to delve into the time spells, go back to the dawn of Pony, and find the blackguard who first came up with the idea of boiling leaves and drinking it, and give her or him a solid cuff. I suppose there's the odd chance that when I returned to the present I would find that pony civilization had crumbled, and that the world now groaned under some sort of oppressive diamond dog regime. But it might just be worth the risk. Give me a second here. I needed to hydrate with some nice refreshing cola. That was a joke, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Oh, continued Twilight, heedless of my inner monologue. And we learned a whole bunch of other lessons too. Rarity would like to talk to you about something called Bollywood. Pinky is planning on preparing a graphically detailed report on why a pony should never eat too much cauliflower vindaloo in one sitting, and Rainbow would like to petition you for an annual festival where ponies fly diamond-studded kites around in some... I have to breathe at some point. In some sort of epic slash every pony else's kite war, just like they do over there. Which is a plan that can only end well. Jesus. My lungs weren't meant for this much extended use. I cannot foresee any problems with that, I said, nodding. And there's something else here, she said, mischievously, her horn flaring up again as she rustled around in the diplomatic pouch, resting lightly against her brisket. Brisket? What is it, brisket? I brought you a little surprise from Hein. Try and guess what it is. Is it tea? I said, my eyes glinting and my mouth fixed tight in a gently amused princess-like rictus. It's tea! Twilight exclaimed, producing a small tin and holding it aloft. Boy, you'll never believe this stuff they let you carry across the borders in a diplomatic pouch. No customs or anything. And best yet, it's all perfectly legal. She pulled the tin back. Twilight, I don't think you're taking the best state of mind towards this realization. She pulled the tin back over to her and read the words stamped into the metal. Superfine grade first flush Darjeeling, she read. Often called champagne of teas. This light-bodied tea possesses an enticing floral aroma combined with words. Muscatel-like spiciness. Perfect with breakfast, a light snack, or any time you just want to relax, she beamed at me. I tell you, Princess, no pony knows tea like the Hindi. I had so much tea while I was over there you wouldn't even believe. Sounds delightful, I said. I can't wait to try it. Hey, I know. No time like the present, right? Let's get Miss Cozy up here and have her brew us a cup, if you don't mind opening your present right away. Oh, I don't know. I'm rather enjoying the jasmine right now, I said, delicately inclining the royal muzzle towards my student as I lied to her brazenly and without shame. Huh. You know, you are the princess. You could just say, I don't like tea. Twilight blinked. My faithful student is quick, eager, and perceptive, and furthermore pays altogether too much attention to me, and is said during lesson time to be certain, but when one is trying to pull the wool over her eyes, not so much. I could have sworn that I let nothing of mine. I could have. Okay, this is spelled weird. I'm pretty sure they meant mine, but it's read. It goes. I could have sworn that I let nothing of mine slip. That was another joke. Thank you. But to my dismay, I saw her face fall a little at my words. Is something the matter? Asked Twilight, her voice laced with undercurrent of omnipresent neurotic dread. Jesus Christ, there's a lot of words in here. Do you not like Darjeeling? I enjoy all tea, of course, I said, digging my nigh infinitely deep hole of a fraction of an inch deeper. I just realized what that was saying. I am pleased and touched by your gift, my faithful student. You've already got a lot of Darjeeling, she said. I once had an entire oh no, that's Twilight again. Uh, you've already got a lot of Darjeeling, she said. I once had an entire wardrobe full of Darjeeling, I thought, stuffed absolutely to the gills, but then last week I got in a mood, runically sealed it runically sealed it and carried it out to the hazardous magical waste disposal depository, is what that says. Keep up, me. In the dead of night, and was done with it. No, I therefore answered in complete honesty. Then what's the matter? Princess, please, Princess, tell me. She did the eyes thing then. Father in I'm also not very well versed in mythology. Uh, Father in Eohippus, preserve me from the eyes thing, I thought, anchoring my soul against the gale-force wind of adorable, ingenious pleading, being emitted by my student. I remember the little filly Twilight turning those eyes on me many a time, repeatedly reducing the most powerful creature in all Equestria to marmalade. I am powerless against them. Well, I guess you're not very powerful then, are you? So be it. Twilight Sparkle, I said, lowering my head conspiratorially, my voice dancing with a wholly engineered tone of secret glee. I'm going to tell you something that I've never told any pony else in the entire world. Would you like to hear it? Twilight's face was like my beloved sun. Yes! She nearly cried, and I could see the wellspring of joy in her heart, joy that I would entrust little Twilight with one of the hidden secrets of Equestria. Of course, Princess! I hung my best, most polished smile on my face. I really actually don't like tea. A sheen of... Hmm, I had a feeling. A sheen of ice instantly coated the surface of Twilight's sun, and I winced at my patent miscalculation. Twilight's face did not move, not even a smidgen, but the light in her eyes was instantly snuffed and buried in a... Oh, Jesus Christ! Snuffed and buried in a loose clay in her psychological backyard. I felt a trap door open in my gut and attempted to fill the newly exposed pit with words. It's a funny story, actually, I said, trying desperately to convince her of this fact. Several thousand years ago, Princess Luna was stuck on an idea for a birthday present to give me. Consumables are always good for a mare of my age, of course. We've still got a team of royal archaeologists excavating one of my long-forgotten bric-a-brac vaults and discovering interesting new strata of decorative candle holders, if you recall. Well, Luna somehow got it into her head that I was a tea drinker, and so she bought me this beautiful gold leaf porcelain tea service, complete with a lovely assortment of teas, and I was very touched by the gift, even though I can't actually stand the stuff. But I couldn't very well say to her face, almost as well as how delicate she... What the fuck? You know almost as well as I how delicate she can be. Oh, I'm reading it wrong. You know almost as well as I how delicate she can be. That's how it's meant to be read, by people who aren't stupid. So I would occasionally brew up a cup while she was watching and pretended to enjoy it, and it did make her quite happy. How long is this? Jesus Christ, okay. Sorry, we're running on 17 minutes here. I'm gonna have to end this right here, and, oh, no, let's go for 20. Let's go on for 20. It wasn't too long after that we hosted, uh, what the fuck is this word? Um, oh, whoops. Great. Hold on. I gotta find my place. It's... Crap. Wasting time. No! You know what, fuck it. I'm gonna end it here since I've already wasted time and I can't find my place again. Um, but thank you for watching, and I will see you again in the next part. So, yeah. Also, this is the last fanfiction that I have on the list, so if you would like me to read anything specific or anything at all, please send in fanfictions for me to read. It helps because I'm indecisive and I'm not a big browser of fanfiction, so, it'd help. But yeah, see you next time.